According to Monday, March 31st spoilers for The Young and the Restless, Lily Winters will display her ferocious side, while Victor Newman will cause chaos. Here's what YNR fans should anticipate. Chloe Mitchell will also have a cunning plan for Sally Spectra. Let's start by discussing the trap Victor is laying to entice Aristotle Dumas to come out. Victor told Lily a story that didn't fit Michael Baldwin's inquiry. Thus it's obvious that there was some deceit involved. Michael maintained that Aristotle was completely uninterested in Winters, and that his relationship with Damien appeared to be purely coincidental. But in the end, Victor predicted that he would use Devon, Winters and Lily in his Aristotelian plan. Soon after, Victor told Lily that it was because of the companionship of the Winters family that Aristotle dispatched Damien Kane to become closer to them. Lily was shocked to hear that 3 months earlier, Aristotle allegedly provided Damien with information on Lily and Devon. Victor seems to have sought to cause some drama and pique Lily's curiosity. Given that Lily is going to face Damien and demand explanations, Victor will undoubtedly succeed in doing so. Lily will quickly back Damien into a corner after he gets back from the hospital in Chicago. According to YNR spoilers, Lily will become irate with Damien and insist on the truth about what Aristotle's game is. After learning more about Lily's charges, Damien might claim that she received inaccurate information. Following this confrontation, Damien might possibly contact Aristotle with some news, which could also be a component of Victor's larger scheme. Speaking of big plans, Chloe will believe that Sally needs one in order to safeguard her relationship with Billy Abbott. Chloe will push Sally to use her old techniques, since she believes Phyllis Summers threatens Sally's happiness. If Sally follows Chloe's advice to cut Phyllis out of the picture, she might go back to her cunning days. Sally will undoubtedly have some misgivings, and could require some time to consider her options. According to spoilers for The Young and the Restless, once Tracy Abbott sets herself up as a trap, Martin Laurent might confess 3 things to her. Let's discuss what Martin will reveal, and the ensuing YNR turmoil, as this could be setting up a big kidnapper shocker. 1. Martin acknowledges he was responsible for the confinement experiment with Sharon and Phyllis. Tracy Abbott intends to persuade Martin, also known as Alan, that her love is unconditional once he gets back to Genoa City, lulling Martin into a false sense of security, and getting him to confess the full unpleasant narrative will be the aim. Tracy will reassure Alan that nothing he says or does will make her feel differently about him. Before outright questioning whether he is responsible for the double kidnapping, Tracy might bring up the phone alerts and what she found out from Sharon Newman. Naturally, given that Sharon is now getting along with Phyllis Summers, Tracy can seem as though she is impressed by the thought that went into the plan, and that the goal justifies the means. Even though it was unusual and drastic, Tracy would be wise to imply that it was a brilliant experiment. Tracy may give Alan exactly what he wants to hear and persuade him to acknowledge that he was in fact to blame for Sharon and Phyllis's suffering. 2. Martin admits that he is not Alan. Of course, Alan's admission of the kidnapping might result in another one. Tracy would point out that for someone like Alan, who used to adhere to more conventional therapeutic guidelines, the trial looks way too unconventional. Perhaps Tracy will bring up the fact that Alan must have a rationale for adopting new psychological techniques. Tracy may give some clues when she pushes Alan to acknowledge that he isn't actually Alan. Martin might admit that he is Alan's twin brother if he believes Tracy will accept him for who he really is. Martin would most likely reassure Tracy that his love for her is genuine, even if he comes clean about his identity fraud. 3. Martin opens up on his surprising trip to Paris. At first, Martin might be relieved to get all of this off his chest, but things could quickly take a concerning turn. It's simple to picture Martin rushing in to kiss Tracy, or even wanting to sleep with her. Tracy's withdrawal might reveal to Martin that she lied to get the truth out of him. If Martin discovers Tracy set him up, he may receive an unpleasant surprise, but he can then give his own surprise, the one from Paris he's been pitching. We know Alan has been working on some Paris surprise, even though in the March 28th episode Jack Abbott cooked up an excuse to get him back home. Alan made a reference to finishing off some tasks there, before heading back to Genoa City during that phone conversation with Jack. What if Martin had to hold Ashley Abbott captive in order to finish out his tasks? Since Ashley is in Paris, Martin might have her imprisoned and want to take advantage of her. In exchange for her release, captive Ashley might let Martin make some requests and even set up his escape. Tracy will be appalled if Martin confesses that Ashley is a captive since her life may be in jeopardy. The drama and joy of this soap opera are about to be psychoanalyzed by Young and Restless. Nevertheless, we've had a few puzzles to divert our attention. Alan is who? Aristotle Dumas is who? Examining the situation. I've always enjoyed a good frenemies moment between Sharon and Phyllis, but when drama is the goal, it seems foolish to make it permanent. Nowadays, it's kind of common for authors to therapize the edginess of all the characters that have historically kept us entertained with their pot stirring. It appears that Phyllis, of all people, is going to follow in the footsteps of Adam, Chelsea and Diane, who have all turned into terrible bores. To put it mildly, it's depressing and completely unrelated to our purpose. The dramatization on Beyond the Gates and Bold and Beautiful is something that the writers should be aware of. Alan revealed. In those talks between Jack and Tracy, there was a lot of foreshadowing that made it quite obvious that Martin survived and had been posing as his brother, unless there was a twist where Alan had some kind of manic episode after the death of his twin. We anticipated that as part of this surprise he's preparing, Alan/Martin will attack Ashley once more. He might even take out his phone and admit that he has her sister imprisoned somewhere if Tracy corners him on his way back to Genoa City. If not, this can end up being just another cliched conclusion, where they just reveal that Alan is Martin and send him to prison. Our hearts will undoubtedly ache for Tracy, and we will fervently hope that Sharon and Phyllis will have the opportunity to face their captor. But I'm not holding my breath. After all, the Jordan/Ian tale denied Daniel and Sharon this chance for resolution. Cousins of Christopher Beth Maitland. Aristotle Dumas's disclosure. We're opening the way for the identity of the individual who goes by Aristotle Dumas to be revealed. These two possibilities don't align with my initial impressions of the character. It was assumed that Victor was about the same age as the mustache when he told Michael that he had competed with Aristotle Dumas to acquire businesses throughout the years. Our theories, however, now tilt him younger according to additional facts. We had to think that Dumas might be Cain Ashby, because Daniel Goddard had hinted at an announcement. Let's look at some proof. Cain lives in California, where Dumas businesses are located, and he has a past with Chancellor Industries. Lily and Jill are also connected. It might be him, but in order to have been on Victor's level for years, he would have needed to establish an empire rather rapidly after leaving Genoa City. The notion put up by veteran Young and Restless watcher Mark Harding on Twitter, that Aristotle Dumas is Brooks Prentice, and will be portrayed by incoming Days star Billy Flynn, is the one I like best. This would not only put the original Brooks/Prentice family back onto the canvas, but it would also be far better than what would amount to an absurd Cain-related narrative. It could also pave the way for a Theo comeback, I like to think. In any case, Victor once seized the publishing empire that the Prentice family owned, for those who are unaware. In addition to explaining Brooks's hostility for the Black Knight, this also explains the names given to his businesses, Monte Cristo and Dangler, as well as his pen name Dumas. According to teasers on The Young and the Restless, Billy Abbott struck a bargain with Aristotle Dumas. Running it and getting Chancellor back is the prize. Billy's mother, Jill Abbott, and Victor Newman are also to be resented. But would Billy be approaching danger? Would Billy have to work with Victor to foil Dumas' cunning plan? Let's discuss the possibility after you finish reading. Spectra Sally Untrustworthy. Supporters are aware that Victor informed Michael Baldwin of his past relationship with Dumas. According to Victor, they fought for businesses and Dumas must be persuaded. When Victor discussed Dumas, he appeared a little nervous. A little tense, but not afraid. It would appear that this man could be Victor's match. Sally Spectra discovered that Dumas was destroying Billy's phone in the meantime. Billy made up a narrative for his lover. Fans are aware, though, that Billy struck a deal with Dumas in order to regain Chancellor. Concerned Phyllis Summers. Billy made the decision to share some information about Dumas with Phyllis. Phyllis was scared rather than enthusiastic and all in. Billy assured Daniel Romalotti, Jr. and Phyllis that Abbott Communications was not about retaliation, and that he was headed in the right direction. Phyllis now understands that Billy is not just seeking retribution, but also that he would soon have to pay a hefty price for it. Billy Abbott's victory bittersweet. According to teasers for The Young and the Restless, Billy claimed that he fulfilled his end of the agreement. Billy is currently awaiting Dumas's half of the bargain. Billy assured Phyllis that this agreement has no drawbacks. Really? Is this incredibly powerful business magnate going to fight for Chancellor, and then give it to Billy unconditionally? Dismantling Aristotle Dumas? Dumas may give it to Billy once he obtains Chancellor. However, generosity and giving away businesses are not ways that empire builders succeed. All of this is also very confidential. Billy has been dismissing almost everyone, even Jill Abbott, his mother. How likely is it that Billy is genuinely unaware of who he is interacting with? Billy may believe that Chancellor will return, but is the cost really worth it? Billy may ultimately have to seek assistance from Victor, and even his mother. Can Billy, Jill, and Billy ultimately work together to permanently defeat Dumas? Here are the spoilers for Monday, March 31st, 2025's episode of The Young and the Restless. Fans can anticipate that Chloe Mitchell will propose a shocking suggestion to Sally Spectra in the upcoming episode. Lily Winters questions Damian Kane regarding Aristotle Dumas in the meanwhile. Let's discuss what will happen in the upcoming episode of the CBS soap opera as you continue reading. The Trap of Victor Newman. Victor Newman will continue to set up his trap for Dumas on Monday, March 31st. Michael Baldwin was informed previously by the father that he typically needs to entice Dumas out. There is no sense that this man is a softie. When Victor talked about the individual, his face was extremely nervous and reserved. Read more. Discover the events of YNR's most recent episode. The intentions of Aristotle Dumas. Lily was given some information on Dumas by Victor. The accounts from Michael's inquiry, however, will not be consistent with this knowledge. Victor cautioned Lily that Dumas has no interest in Winters, despite Michael's insistence to the contrary. Lily questioned why Dumas would ever be considering Winters. Victor then implied that Dumas had provided Damian with information about the Winters family months prior. The cruel confrontation of Lily Winters. Lily will then call for Damian. In a sneak peek, Lily presses Damian to tell the truth about both Dumas and himself. It's likely that Damian will claim he doesn't understand what Lily is discussing. Damian may simultaneously inform Dumas of this intriguing development. Victor's trap is most likely that in and of itself. Read more. Spoilers for The Young and the Restless. Sharon and Daniel's next hot couple. March 31st, 2025 Monday. According to teasers for The Young and the Restless, Sally will talk to Chloe about her worries regarding Billy Abbott and Phyllis Summers. To get rid of Phyllis permanently, Chloe advises Sally to play dirty. Sally will face a moral conundrum, because she has put a lot of effort into demonstrating her positive transformation. Sally might wreck everything if she plays foul. We're discussing more than simply Sally's relationship. Sally has a career, and has established herself with many Genoa city residents. Even people who don't believe in Sally can acknowledge that she has been headed in the right direction for some time. Usually, Chloe is the one who helps Sally stay on course. It's intriguing that she now wants her pal to become cunning.